Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hey, Shalom. Yahweh Bashim Yahshua Rakatham, Yahweh Shemal Thumb Bashim Yahshua, Priest and Officer 1000 Yadai. And this is the Monday Night Scripture Breakdown class. Make sure y'all type your questions in. You know what I mean? For 12 show General Muhammad. General Muhammad will be in the building. If you have any questions, make sure you type them in. If there are any questions in the classroom, you know what I mean? Hold them for General Muhammad. Now, if I could, Israel, we have to understand, right? As Blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians, now is the time to come back into this truth. Now is the time to get yourself together. Shalom, Zarwa, y'all, Bashir, Gotta understand this, man. If I could, Zarwa, let me get Leviticus 20 and verse 26. We have to realize, man, it's the Lord's chosen people that, you know what I mean, the churches have failed us. Yes, your pastor, your imam, they have failed our people. We have to understand that we have to come back to our identity. Our people just got done glorifying, you know what I mean, Martin Luther King. Let me explain something to every Black, Latino, and First Nation man and woman out there. Martin Luther King was a traitor. He was a traitor to his race, but a traitor to our people. You got it, Zarwa?
You said 2021?
No, Leviticus 20 and verse 26. Yeah, Martin Luther King was a traitor. And the issue is that our people have is that they don't want to believe that. They want to believe that everything that he fought for was great and wonderful. But the people that benefited from the civil rights movement wasn't Blacks, Latinos, and First Nation men and women. The so-called Jew benefited. The Asians benefited. They called them the model minorities, are why. Right. The East Indians and the Africans benefited. But what about the Lord's chosen people, Blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians? We suffer. He even said that he feared that he integrated his people into a burning house. And let me explain something to everybody out here. And the Bible is about to agree with you. The Most High God chose us to be separate. Understand this, and we're going to read it in the scriptures. What Martin Luther King did with the civil rights movement, integrating us with the oppressor, was an evil thing because the Most High God, Yahweh, wants us to be separate. And I can show it with the scripture. Read what you guys are, what?
Oh, God. The book of Leviticus, chapter 20, verse 26.
Mm-hmm.
And ye shall be holy unto me.
The Lord said, ye shall be holy unto me. I know you think about holy, you think about your silly mom and grandmom and auntie. I know. They got them crazy feather hats on in church. They screaming hallelujah, speaking in tongues, fainting. But understand this, that's not what holy means. Holy means to be separate, set apart. And the Most High is telling Black, Latinos, and First Nation men and women, the Israelites of antiquity, that we are a holy people, a separate people. Read on.
Oh, God. For I, the Lord, am holy.
Hold on, Zarwa. So mean to tell me the Lord is separate. Right. The Most High is separate. I thought God loved everybody. This is why you can't listen to your charlatan preachers and ministers and imams, because they don't understand the Bible. They don't understand our power, our God. Our God is telling us, Black man, Latino man, and woman, that we are separate and that our God is separate. We grew up believing that God loved everybody. I know that's what they taught in the Christian church. They also taught, so for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, which is a beautiful scripture, but Christ did not come to die and save, you know what I mean, heathens, the oppressor, the Asians, the Africans, the Filipinos, and the Polynesians. Christ came and died for Blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians. Go ahead, sis. Leviticus 20 and verse 26. That was why Christ even said it. He said it, our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, meaning the Most High is our Father.
Right.
He ain't everybody's father. I mean, we all have children, right? If you tell your children to go, you know what I mean, not go outside and play with them knuckleheads on the corner, and they do it. You go out there, do you punish every child on the block, Solomon? No. You don't, but you listen, Micah is going to catch it if she catches you outside playing with them knuckleheads on the corner. It's a lie. I can imagine with Zarwai and all 20 of his children. You can imagine. You better not. You want to know why? Because your children are set apart. Your children are holy, separate. Your children are special. That's how the Lord views us. Because the Most High chose Blacks and Latinos and Native American Indians to be that separate people. That's why we're being punished for doing, for committing these atrocities and sinning against the Most High, marrying these heathens, being homosexual, you know what I mean, being coked up on cocaine and weed and all these other drugs. And they putting fentanyl in the weed now, right? Because we did these things, we are being punished by our Father. because he's our Father. He's our God. Shalom, my Lord Christ. Now, read on, Zarwa.
Come. And have severed you.
And have what?
Severed you.
And have severed you. What does it mean where it says that he has severed you? What does it mean to sever? If I was to sever my arm, right, from my body, it's no longer attached. Meaning the Most High saw us in the midst of these heathens, right, and severed us from other people. Somebody should have showed that to Martin Luther King. Somebody needs to show the scripture to your pastor and your imam that you love and adore so much, because we're reading out the Bible. And understand this, man. Our God does not change. I believe that's with that. Malachi 3:6. The Lord said he changed not. The Lord did not change. The Lord, you know what I mean, does not love these heathens. He did not love these other nations. That's why he chose us, black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman, that he severed us from other people. Meaning this, segregation is good.
Right.
Segregation is good. Don't you think it is better, you know what I mean, for blacks and Latinos and First Nation men and women to be together? Why do you think our communities are destroyed today? During the 40s, 50s, and 60s, and early 70s, our communities were tight-knit. They were together. We had our own businesses. We had our own hospitals. Hell, we even had our own sports teams and leagues where, you know what I mean, where that money was flowing through our communities. And guess what? What happened? You know what happened? Integration. The oppressor and you Uncle Tom Negroes telling us that we got to come together, and all of that money, imagine this, all of that money that was generating through our communities, now where does it go? It goes to the Christian church. We did a story on Black Watch. Commander Junior Yohana brought out that the Christian church in 10 years made $800 billion. But they say we ain't got no money, Zarwa. We do. It's going to the wrong place. It is. These other nations come into our communities and rape us of our resources and everything. That's why the Afghanistanis can come over here and open up new Crown Fried Chickens. That's why the Asians can come and set up shop, you know what I mean, and send their children off to college and different schools while ours die and go to jail. And we got to understand this and take a page from their book. They're separate. We need to be separate. Again, black man, Latino man, First Nation man, and woman. Now is the time for that black woman to love that black man again. For that Latino woman to love that Latino man, and that First Nation woman to love that First Nation man again. Now is the time for us to come together. Our God told us that we were separate, and he severed us from other people. We don't need these other nations. That's the one of the biggest lies that they tell us. That what? Nakar, that the oppressor found us in the jungles of Africa somewhere and civilized us and brought us over here. That is a lie. That's a lie. We were brought over here on cargo slave ships, man. We come from, go ahead, Jarwa.
They call us, the Israelites and the Native American brothers savages. But we built, monuments that they can't even build today.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, man. What Jarwa is bringing out is so heavy. The archaeology, you know what I mean, and Issachar and Gad and Zebulon was getting down with. The oppressor is still scratching his head to this very day. But he has the nerve to call you a savage. He has the nerve to say that you're a wetback when the white man is the real wetback. He crossed an entire ocean to avoid taxes and then impose taxes on blacks and Latinos. Goes to show you that the oppressor is truly the devil that the Bible speaks of, man. For what? I appreciate it. There any more?
Come.
Yeah.
And have severed you from other people, that ye shall be mine.
That ye shall be mine, because we belong to the Most High. We don't belong to these other nations. We belong to the Lord, man. Yahweh. That's who we belong to. And we have to understand this is only for our people. The issue is that we want to give our salvation. We want to give our culture and our identity to these other nations when they don't give a damn about us. They do not. You can't even call yourself a Jew nowadays without being antagonized or questioned by the oppressor. If I could, Zarwa, give me Jeremiah 14 and verse 2. I'm going to show you who the real Jews are, that we are the Israelites, that we are the Jews of antiquity. The oppressor will never be a Jew, but he's the devil that the Bible speaks of. But now, if I was to ask you, what's your nationality, what you going to tell me? African American? You mean to tell me you're a descendant of Leo Scipios Africanus and Amerigos Vespucci? Those are two devils, two white men. You mean to tell me that you are so-called Puerto Rican? When the oppressor and the conquistador and them boys went over there and named that island when they dropped off the Taino Indian of the tribes of Ephraim and Manasseh, they named that island Rich Port. That's what Puerto Rico means. So you mean to tell me that's your name? You're Rich Port. You're Puerto Riches? No. We're the Israelites of antiquity, Latino man, First Nation man and woman. Go ahead, sis.
Just like the Dominican Republic was named after Dominican. Yeah.
Absolutely. Listen, and what you bringing out is so heavy, right? And General Muhammad was going into it with the flags. You know what I mean? I understand everybody wants to take pride in their own flag and everything, but really that causes division. When in reality, black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman, we are under something greater than a flag. We are under the Most High. That's one thing that we have to understand. As blacks, Latinos, and First Nation men and women, we got to realize that we on the same team. We got on the same jersey. We're going through the same hell and oppression together. If you go to the DR, the Dominican Republic, guess who's being in bondage? Guess who's suffering over there? Israelites of the tribe of Simeon. On the other side, you know what I mean, of the Isle of Hispaniola, Haiti. And the French named it Haiti because that's a word. Haiti means hell, which is literal hell. For our people, hell is a condition, a low state. Who is in hell? That Levite man and woman who are the so-called Haitians today. That Simeon man and woman who are the so-called Simeonites today of the DR. That First Nation man and woman of the tribe of Gad and the Seminole Indian who's of the tribe of Reuben. And that black man and woman who was of the tribe of Judah. The oppressor right now is faking the funk, trying to claim an identity that he has no claim to. And they tell us that he has no claim to it because he calls himself what, Nakar? Jew-ish. When the suffix ish on there lets you know what I mean, that you're not a real Jew. You're not. Like for an example, like if Nakar had on a shirt that was blackish, is it completely black? No. Meaning it's kind of. But the thing with the oppressor, he not even a Jew, kind of. Because you got to understand, being a Jew is a nationality. It's not a religion. It's not something that you can convert to. That's something that the oppressor has made up so they can lay hold and lay claim to our identity, but it's not for him. Go ahead, Zarwa.
God. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 14, verse 2.
Mm-hmm.
Judah mourning.
The Bible says Judah mourning, meaning the Jews would be in mourning. If you had a homie named Daniel, you might nickname him Danny. Guess what? The Bible says the real Jews, Judah, because Jew is short for Judah. The real Jews are in mourning. Now, let's cross-examine that for a minute. Is the so-called Jew in mourning? Because last time I checked Sawanai, he got the Diamond District. He run Hollywood. He run the music industry. Guess what? They not in mourning. They're not in mourning. You know who is in mourning? That black man and woman in the ghetto. That Latino man and woman in the barrio. We're the ones that are mourning. Our First Nation and Seminole Indian brothers and sisters are in mourning on those concentration camps. They're not reservations. They were not meant to preserve the lives of our First Nation brothers and sisters, man. They are modern day hellholes, concentration camps that our brothers and sisters are being held on. And they're in the same hellish condition as that Latino man in the barrio and that black man and woman in the ghetto. Read on. Now that's what the real Jews are going through. We're the ones that are going through mourning. What is the so-called Jew mourning for? What's the white man mourning for in the car? Nothing. He ain't got no mourn about. What you gonna tell me? The Holocaust? They've received over $700 billion.
Right.
We were promised 40 acres and a mule, and I haven't seen it yet. Have you? You seen the 40 acres and a mule in the car? Zarwai? And you're not gonna see it. Reading on.
God. And the gates thereof language.
And the gates thereof language. We live on YouTube, Zarwai?
Yeah, come
All right, for what? And the gates thereof language. What does it mean that the gates thereof language? What is a gate used for? A gate is used for protection. That's what a gate is used for. Shalom, I go to Christ. That's what that gate is used for, protection. Who's the protection of blacks and Latinos, man? Who's the protection? Who's our leaders? It says in language, meaning it suffers. You know why our people are suffering? Because we don't have righteous leadership as blacks and Latinos, man. You looking at Martin Luther King. You revering a man that was a traitor to our people. And if I could, Sarah Officer Danielle, and they crying about it. They said, how can you disrespect Martin Luther King? He died because, I'm like, that's not the reason why he died, brother. That's not the reason why. You got to understand that he did a great disservice to our people. If that's your leadership, your pastor, your imam, who are pedophiles, who are molesters, who are robbing our communities of $800 billion, I'm not letting that go, Bakar, y'all. We thought it was $400 billion. It was $800 billion that our people have given the Christian church. Go ahead, Bakar, y'all, then I'm going to get this. Oh, who else had their hand up? Ozarwa?
Yeah, I was gonna say what you bring out is heavy because like how can people still try and follow after a man who openly admitted that he was wrong
Absolutely.
and still believe in the dream that he said was a nightmare?
Right.
How you still gonna follow after somebody who had openly admitted, they was wrong? And it's crazy to me. So like,
What you bringing out, Zarwa, is heavy. It's asinine when you think about it because he knew it was wrong. Go ahead, sis.
What was the real reason why he was killed?
The real reason why he was killed? Now, if I could, Nakar, give me Deuteronomy 13. I'll tell you why. Deuteronomy chapter 13 and verse 1.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 13, verse 1. If there arise among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams.
If there arise among you a prophet or a what?
Dreamer of dreams.
Or a what?
Dreamer of dreams.
Or a dreamer of dreams. Who is this prophet? Who is this dreamer of dreams? Did he not say, I have a dream? Little black boys and little white girls can drink from the river of prosperity, a speech that he didn't even write, by the way. Gotta understand this, man, as blacks and Latinos. This is in the Bible. The Lord said, there arise among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams. Read on.
Come, and giveth thee a sign or a wonder.
And giveth thee a sign or a wonder. What is the sign or the wonder? If you look at the civil rights movement and how many people followed Martin Luther King. Now, not everybody did. You had some brothers and sisters out there that was not with that. That was not with it at all. But you got to understand. Chill out. Mr. General. Mr. General. Chill out. Oh, you right there? You right there? All right. Understand this. Give you a sign or a wonder. The sign of the wonder is how many people followed him that got down with the civil rights movement. Now, not all of our people were with it. We sure as hell wasn't. Now, read on.
Come, verse 2. And the sign or the wonder come to pass.
And the sign or the wonder come to pass thereof. Now, it came to pass. He had all of our people forming the March on Washington. Started the Montgomery bus boycott, which was amazing. Now, don't get me wrong. That was an amazing thing to have that many people, but it was all for the wrong reason. All for the wrong reason. For jobs, so that the other minorities can prosper here in America while we still suffer. You know how many people marched down on Washington following after this, brother? And a lot of our people, Alawapanya, Barak, Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh, Shah, Barakatah.
Wrap it up. All right. I'll get my Guathia. Questions. Let's get it.
Sorry, I was answering Sister Salomon's question about why Martin Luther King was killed. I was in Deuteronomy 13, verse 2.
Perfect. Anything else? Up front.
I have another question after the first question. Why was Dr. Martin Luther King killed? The real reason why he was killed. And also I have another question.
Okay, what's your other question? Any questions online? Are we waiting?
Nice.
Sis?
1 Timothy 6:18. I wanted to know what does it mean when it said willing to communicate? What does this mean in its context?
Okay, someone read it for her, please.
come. The book of 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 18. that they do good, that they be rich in good works.
Go one verse, please.
Come. Verse 17. Charge them that are rich in this world, that they be not high-minded.
Everyone understands that, right? So, meaning these letters, the majority of these letters are letters to the schools, correcting the schools, upbraiding the schools, chastising the schools, and encouraging the schools, praising the schools. Just like today, we have schools in Philadelphia and Houston and Dallas and California, San Bernardino and Arizona, right? They had schools all throughout Greece, Thessalonica, Ephesus, different schools like that. And so Paul wrote letters to these schools, corrected them in those letters, and praised them in those letters. You understand? So now he's saying the rich brothers in the school do what? Or the rich people in the school, go ahead.
Come. Lord, trust in
Read one more, a verse above it.
Come. Verse 16, sir.
Come.
Come. Who only have immortality, dwelling in the light which no man can approach unto.
Keep going. I'll skip down for time's sake. Go ahead.
Come. Verse 17. Charge them that are rich in this world, that they be not high-minded.
So for the brothers and sisters in the school who are rich, who have wealth, charge them, meaning order them, that they be not high-minded. What does high-minded mean? Being proud, thinking because you have money or wealth that makes you better or on a higher level than someone who is poor. Make sure that your rich people don't behave like that. Charge them that they be not high-minded. Go ahead.
Come. Nor trust in uncertain riches.
And do not trust in uncertain riches. That's another bad habit of people with money. They believe that their money will save them. They believe that their money and their wealth will protect them, and that is a lie. That is not true. Ask R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, ask the people who were in the World Trade Center. Money does not protect you. It does not shield you from bad days. So the people in the truth, make sure they know that. You understand? Go ahead.
Come. But in the living God.
That's what you should trust in. If you have all of the money in the world, the only thing you should trust in is the living God. The Bible says this: money is a defense, and wisdom is a defense. But the excellency of knowledge is this: he that hath wisdom hath life. You understand? Wisdom is far more important than money. The Bible says, many people misquote it and say that the Bible says that money is the root of all evil. That is not what the Bible says. Money is not the root of all evil. The love of money is the root of all evil. The way you feel about money, your pursuit of money, and your belief that money is the only thing that matters in the world, that is the root of all evil. Everyone understands. Do me a favor, kill this a little bit, Doc. It's a little tight for me, all right? Go ahead.
Come. Who giveth us richly all things to enjoy.
You understand that? Meaning if you have wealth, I appreciate it. If you have wealth, the Most High is the one that gave it to you. Right? Without his blessing, you would be poor as the people you look down on. The Most High is the one that blesses anyone with whatever they have. And he blesses you richly. Keep going.
Come. Verse 18. That they do good, that they be rich in good works.
Everybody gets that. That's what they're going to be charged to do. Rich brothers and sisters in the UPK, Commander General Yohana has always done this. I've seen him do it myself, and it's happening right now. Charge them that they do good works. That as opposed to their money being the passport into the upper room and to the seats of power of every Christian church on the planet. That's why the Christians have that front row that they rope off with a damn velvet rope for the basketball players and football players and all of the rich donators in the church, and the poor people who have given their last penny with the hope that their grandmother will be healed from cancer. 3 months after their grandmother is dead, the preacher puts them back up on the top shelf of that damn whorehouse. Right? That cannot happen in here, and it will not happen in here. Why? Because in here, rich people have to do good works. They got to sweep the floor, go to camp, hold post. They're going to have to be troopers. A rich woman has to make sandwiches and make food for the brothers in the camp. She's going to have to work regardless of how much money she has. A rich brother has to work regardless of how much money he has. Are we at the sister's question yet?
Go
ahead.
Ready to distribute, willing to communicate.
That's what he'll be. He'll be ready to distribute, ready to take his money and give it to the people that need it. He'll be ready to do that. He won't be holding it as if his life is dependent upon this money. Most rich people think that their money is only for their lust. Their money is to buy them whores and cocaine and drugs and houses and boats. Nah, not rich people in the truth. He's going to be ready to distribute. Ready. What else?
Willing to communicate.
Willing to communicate. What does that mean? That's to the sister's question. Read the next verse, the next line.
Verse 19. Lying up in store for themselves a good foundation.
That's the point I just made. What does it mean to be willing to communicate? Meaning they're willing to come around and talk to everyone. Now, what does that go against in the minds of wealthy people? Wealthy people believe they should be separate from everyone. They live in some rich white neighborhood where they don't have to mix with the commoners and the common folk. With people who don't have the same money as them, they stay away from you. They don't want to be around you, but these rich people are in the truth. So they're going to be willing to report. They're going to call in and make their once-a-week phone call. They're going to show up to guard the school when their night is to guard the school. They're going to teach their class. They're going to do what they're supposed to do. They're going to communicate with the other people who do not have the kind of money they have. Do you understand? And the next part also clarifies. Go ahead.
Don't come. Against the time.
No, right? No, up above that. Go ahead.
Don't come. Verse 19. Laying up in store for themselves a good foundation.
That's it. Laying up in store for themselves a good foundation, meaning what is the opposite of that? Rich people believe that they should hoard their money to themselves. And it's for them. Anytime they meet a friend, they think this friend is trying to get their money. I gotta watch out for these girls. These girls want me for my money. Everybody wants you for your goddamn money. If you're rich, you're gonna take that money and do with it what the hell you're told. That's what you'll do. You'll do what everyone else does. If some poor brother can give up $10 out of 100 because he knows it's the law, and then on top of that, he takes his money and supports every department and supports the brothers and sisters in the school, then the rich can take their millions and do what the hell they're told with it. Does everyone understand? Why? Because then you lay up for yourselves treasures. Now, as opposed to hoarding treasure like Scrooge McDuck, keeping all of your goddamn money to yourself, as opposed to that, you will store up treasure with the Most High. That's another treasure, and that treasure is far more important than anything in the bank. Everyone understands. You get it now. Next question. Let me get one more online, Sawana. Go ahead, Art.
Brother wanted to break down of Isaiah 49 and verse 6.
Go ahead.
Isaiah chapter 49 and verse 6. And he said, it is a light thing that thou shouldest be my servant to raise up the tribes of Jacob.
Read it again.
Khan.
Make sure about the it is.
Mm-hmm. And he said, it is a light thing that thou shouldest be my servant to raise up the tribes of Jacob.
Is that it is or is it?
It is.
It is. Go ahead. Is this his whole question? I got you. Keep going.
And to restore the preserved of Israel.
Give me 2 verses above it.
The book of Isaiah chapter 49 and verse 4. Mm-hmm. Then I said, I have labored in vain. Mm-hmm. I have spent my strength for naught. Mm-hmm. And in vain, yet surely my judgment is with the Lord. Mm-hmm. And my work with my God.
Meaning this is this brother losing his faith. Losing his faith. And that happens time to time with prophets of God in the Bible. It happens with the prophets of God today. Sometimes your faith can get challenged, can get attacked. And like every attack, you are expected to defend yourself when your faith is challenged. You're expected to fight back. Well, he was going through it right now. And he's believing that it can't work, it can't win. Israel will not be restored. He's serving the Lord for nothing, meaning it's never going to work. And think about the terrible condition that the truth was in at that time. Fighting and fighting just to stay alive. Every king, the king of Israel, his whore queen, all of them trying to kill the prophets of God. Slavery and oppression coming down on our heads, getting thicker and thicker every day.
Was Jeremiah over all these other brothers?
I can't recall. It sounds right. You can look it up. It sounds like he was him and Baruch in the book of Baruch. I believe Jeremiah was in charge of the camp at that time. Come on.
If I could, like, yeah, I do know with him as well.
Mm-hmm.
But wasn't like, okay, Daniel wasn't necessarily under him because he was like somewhere.
Yeah, I can't recall a lot. It should be in the Bible dictionary. Look up contemporaries of the prophets. Contemporaries of the prophets tells you what prophets were around together at the same time, working together. But I cannot recall their rank structure. To my memory, Jeremiah was head of the camp. All right, Daniel, I can't recall if he was a contemporary of Jeremiah. I just don't remember. All right, but you can look it up in the Bible dictionary. And if it says they were, then they were. That's what we teach. What's in contemporary of the prophets in the Zondervan Bible Dictionary. All right, good to go. Next.
Come, read on for this question.
Go ahead.
Verse 5. And now saith the Lord that formed me from the womb to be his servant, to bring Jacob again to him.
Mm-hmm.
Though Israel be not
Meaning
gathered.
now these words are the words of the Most High. His faith was being challenged and tested, but this is what the Most High said. So this is what he did to fight back, which is what you have to do. What you're going to have to do as Satan is telling you what's in front of your face and what is possible. You're going to have to go to Satan and tell Satan what the Most High said, what God said. Because what God said is true, regardless of what it looks like and what it seems like. That's why desperation and hopelessness is such a murderer on this planet. Because so many people think that their feelings are facts. But here's the problem. Your feelings are manipulated by voices. And those voices sometimes come out of the TV, the radio, your mother's distant voice, a voice from your childhood, a voice from high school that's repeating in your head over and over again, a voice from some ex-paramour, some ex-lover, a voice from, the schoolyard, a voice from foster care, in your head talking to you, manipulating your feelings. And the conclusion is always the same thing: hopelessness, despair, depression. But this is what the Most High God said. Read.
Though Israel be not gathered, yet shall I be glorious in the eyes of the Lord.
Yeah, you can look at Israel and say, but we're divided. How many times have you heard that? Black people ain't never going to come together. Hispanics, they just hate each other. The Norteños and the Sureños, they just ain't never going to love each other and care about each other. And the white people are always going to divide us, and we're never going to be together. And the Haitians and the Dominicans, it's just too much history between them. And the north side and the south side, and the east and the west, and the blah, 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 blah. I know it looks like we're ungathered. I know it looks like we're not together. We're not together. We're not gathered together. Keep going.
And my God shall be my
Although we're ungathered, we're not gathered.
Though Israel be not gathered, yet shall I be glorious in the eyes of the Lord.
Yet shall I be glorious in the eyes of the Lord. Even with our people destroyed and separated, yet a prophet of God is still glorified on this planet. Don't look at the condition of your people and think that that condition means that God will not work with you. And that is a myth in the minds of so many people. You sit back and look at the world and go, look at the kid, look at the state of black people. Well, what in the hell does that have to do with me stepping up and doing the will of God? That's irrelevant. The whole thing could fall apart. I am not falling apart. I will stand for the Lord my God, and I will be glorified in him with the world in shambles, with everything falling apart, with you having every reason to quit and despair. I still will glorify the name of the Most High. The state of the world cannot change that. Keep going.
And my God shall be my strength.
Come on, man. I don't care how bad it is and terrible and, oh, look at those videos on YouTube. Look at black people. We ain't never going to get it together. You're never going to get it together. That's true. You're right. You're going to be on the same drugs a year from now that you're on right now. Looking at other people as if, shaking your head as if black people just can't get it right. None of you might not. But I will glorify the name of the Lord thy God on the rubble, in the middle of hell. I'll still do it. And God will see it. Keep going.
Verse 6. And he said, it is a light thing that thou shouldest be my servant to raise up.
This is his question, right? And he said, it is a light thing. What does it is a light thing mean, blacks and Hispanics? This is slang. This is one of the, 1,000 or million times that slang is in the Bible. What is a light thing? Quick work. You understand, sis? It's not a big deal. Give her a hand. It's nothing. It's a light thing. Light work, quick work, nothing. No sweat. No sweat. It's nothing. For the Most High to do what? Go ahead.
That thou shouldest be my servant to raise up the tribes of Jacob.
It's no big deal, man. I'll take you while the whole world is burning, raise you up, and you will put out the fire. That's all. No big deal. No sweat. Keep going.
And to restore the preserved of Israel.
And to restore the preserved, because in all of the rubble and all of the fire, the Most High will still have survivors. And those survivors will need a leader. Please believe that. No matter how terrible it gets, there will be survivors and they must be led. Continue.
I will also give thee for a light to the Gentiles.
Read that again.
I will also give thee for a light to the Gentiles.
Think about the context and what we discussed earlier. What's making him sad? What's putting him in despair? It's specific. Issachar. Give him a hand. That is very hard to see, but the son of Issachar saw it quickly. He saw it with no problem. The whole reason he's sad is because our people are divided into Greeks and Romans and Mexicans and Africans and Haitians. That's why he was in despair, because our people are now scattered into other nations. We are divided. And it made him look around like, I'm trying to save Israelites. All of my people speak Greek. They worship Diana. All of my people worship Caesar Augustus and Octavian. And, oh my God, what am I going to do? No problem. I'll just raise you up. In all of that hell and division, I'll raise you up. You'll be in charge, and you will be a light unto the Gentiles. I will set the fire, burn the shaft. There will be survivors, and I'll give you the water. You'll go and give the people what they need, which is they need to know that they are not Greeks and Romans and South Side and West Side and this gang and that gang. They need to know that they are one race. That's the point. He's sad because our people were behaving like the other nations. Our people were Gentiles. The Most High is saying, I'll make you fix it. That's all. I'll make you fix the problem that you see. You see this great problem of division and us thinking we're from different countries and different neighborhoods. Okay, no sweat. It's true. We do have that problem. I'm giving you the cure. You will be the one that brings the nation together. Instead of being sad about the nation being separate, you be the reason that it comes together. That's the point. Everyone understands. Next.
The brother wanted to break down in Ecclesiasticus chapter 36 and verse 5.
Go ahead.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 36, verse 5. And let them know thee, as we have known thee, that there is no God but only thou, O God.
He needs this broken down.
That in verse 6, sir.
Keep going.
Verse 6. Shew new signs and make other strange wonders.
Mm-hmm.
Glorify thy hand and thy right arm, that they may set forth thy wondrous works.
Is that, I'm missing the point. Glorify, maybe it's the arm part, right? Read that part again.
Verse 6.
This is the Most High. This is the Lord. This is, what's his brother's name again? What book is this? Ezekiel?
Book of
This is
Ecclesiasticus.
Ecclesiasticus. This is the prophet of God right here asking the Most High to do his miracles, to do his work, to prove to the nation of Israel that God is with him and that they should obey God. Continue.
Shew new signs.
The word "shew" is Old English for show, right? Show new signs. Go ahead.
And make other strange wonders.
And make other strange wonders. What's a strange wonder? A miracle, a sign, something that says to the people, wait a minute, this is God's work. I need to take this seriously. This is amazing. Like most of you, your entire life is a miracle. Everything that you've done is a miracle. The fact that you're breathing is a sign. Should be a sign to everyone that knew you from the past. If you can change, they can. Your life is a sign. And there's 1,000 more. There's some other ones. Please believe that. Continue.
Glorify thy hand and thy right arm.
Glorify thy hand and thy right arm. Thy hand and thy right arm are synonymous with strength. Right? You hear about it a lot in the Bible. Thy right hand, if my right hand forget her cunning. Lord, thy arm is not short, that it cannot save. That's talking about the Most High's strength. Right? It's slang. Right? Your hand and your arm are synonymous with your strength. So he's saying, glorify your strength. The Most High glorified his strength in Egypt. He glorified his arm in Egypt, brother. They thought the God of those slaves was a God that they did not have to respect or honor. That's what they thought. It was a joke. Our God was the God of peasants and slaves. Until the Most High strengthened his hand, brother. And then they feared us. I pray you understand that. Look at the COVID-19 virus. Right. The COVID-19 virus is the Most High strengthening his hand. It is him getting honor from people who would otherwise ignore him. The brothers told me, brother, in Trinidad, that they ran out of coffins. There are no more coffins. So the people are dying. They're sitting and waiting because there's no more coffins. And I remember years ago, some of you brothers might not remember, when every lunatic nut was talking about FEMA coffins. Who remembers the FEMA coffins? Oh, y'all remember. Oh, my God, the FEMA coffins. They got these coffins. They're going to kill us all with these coffins. They got these coffins, they're going to kill us all. I laughed the thing to scorn. Make fun of anybody that talked about it at all. They couldn't do that about it. I just laughed at them, right? Lo and behold, the Lord plagues everyone with a terrible plague. The plague so terrible, every country on the planet is terrified of it and scared to death of it. And yet, black people find magically these websites, somehow, that are telling black people not to take the vaccine. I wonder what happens if they don't take the vaccine. You're going to need those FEMA coffins. Right? There is a government conspiracy to get black people not to take the vaccine. It's population control. Remember that? Raise your hand if you remember population control. Oh my God, population control. Then a vaccine comes that is killing everyone. And you found this website somehow pop right up on your feed. Somehow it just popped right up on your phone, right? I wonder why. It popped right up on your phone and told you it's going to make you sterile. Your balls are going to shrink. Your heart is going to get bigger. Somehow, it must be true because it came up on your phone. And then black people do not take it. And then the population gets smaller. The population gets smaller. It's amazing. Please, you're dying.
If I could, sir, I had a conversation with a very good friend of the world today, like an hour or two ago. And he told me that he just beat COVID for the second time, but then chastised me on being vaccinated. He said, I just got over that Omicron, man, but I ain't getting that vaccine, oppressor trying to kill us. I was like, brother.
Whoa. Listen, that's why conspiracy theories are so dumb, because it makes you blind to the conspiracy. Like you can't see it.
Right.
You're going to get it twice and then again and get sicker and sicker and sicker and lay in the bed and vomit and still not care about it happening again. That's the conspiracy. The conspiracy is the government is putting those things on your phone. They're pushing them on your feed. They're making sure that poor, ignorant black people. Who else? Let me give you more proof. Who wouldn't give you health coverage? Raise your hand if you want to tell me who refused to give you. Who makes you kick your husband out the house so you can get health coverage? Tell me who it is. Anyone want to give it a try? Whoever has tried to get health coverage, but they won't give you health coverage if you have a job, and they won't give you health coverage if you have a man. And you need health coverage because, of course, you don't want to die. Who refuses to give blacks and Hispanics health coverage, so much so that they had to go fight to get Obamacare? What came up on your phone during Obamacare? Who wants to know? When the Obamacare debate was going on, what came on your phone? Anyone know? Don't sign up for Obamacare. Do not sign up for Obamacare. I wonder why that popped up on your phone. Population control. They don't want you to go to the doctor. They don't want you to have health coverage. And they don't want you to get the vaccine because they want you to die. Because that is population control. And you're going to need them coffins. You're going to need those FEMA coffins. Go look it up and Google it. They're running out of coffins everywhere. Everywhere. There's no room anywhere because of all of the dead people. The population is better now. It's manageable now, officer. Yeah, of course, who, for some reason, black people are pushed and pushed and pushed to get abortions. I don't know why. I wonder why. And we fight for it, like go to Congress and fight for abortions. And we don't trust Obamacare because that's the mark of the beast. We don't want health coverage because that health coverage, it might make you live. And we can't have that. And we don't want any vaccines because about 10% of the planet died. So we got to make sure we get some of that because there's a government conspiracy trying to kill you. I believe I made that point. I don't know what else to do for you. Keep reading one more time.
Shew new signs and make other strange wonders.
That's a sign. That's a strange wonder. The Most High did it. He did it. Continue.
Glorify thy hand and thy right arm.
Keep going.
That they may set forth thy wondrous works.
That's it. That they may set forth thy wondrous works. So now that he has made himself so strong and so famous, now everyone talks about what he did. That's setting forth, meaning presenting his wondrous works. The Most High created the COVID-19 virus. It's him. He did it. He did it. And your oppressor is the one getting you to not take the vaccine and not to go to the doctor and to get an abortion and to smoke more weed. It's him doing that. Everybody understands? All right. Come on. Mm-hmm.
To 18.
Mm-hmm.
And they wanted it to where I think you didn't need a permit. You could just carry your weapon. Everybody could just carry your weapon. Like, I think they wanted to make it open carry. I wanted to ask you, like, what do you think the reason was behind that? Was that for our oppressors.
I would look and see if that's actually true. Traditionally, places like Philadelphia, Chicago, New York have draconian gun laws. You can't look at a gun. You can't make a finger gun in Philadelphia or New York. They're strict about guns. Now, Pennsylvania is slightly different than the other cities I described because most of Pennsylvania is rural white people. And really only Philadelphia in the surrounding area is where blacks and Hispanics live. So the gun laws in Pennsylvania, a lot of the times Philadelphia's gun laws will reflect Pennsylvania's. That's a majority white Donald Trump state. Do you understand? With one city that has black people and Hispanics in it. Okay, but you got cities like inner cities, Chicago, you can't think about a gun. Right? They drop into your house if you think about a gun. There's terrible gun laws. But in Wyoming, Arizona, everyone walks around with a gun. Felons carry guns in Arizona. Right? Felons, 6-time felons, you can carry a gun, no problem, as long as it's open carry. Was that your question about? I would just double check it and see if it's true. Go ahead.
If I could, it was something that like it had passed on one part, but then when it got to the governor, he said he was going to veto it. He wasn't gonna do it.
Right. That's what usually is.
I was wondering, like, wow, like, are they doing that more for the rural oppressors? Because, like you said, that's most of what it really is.
Exactly. Meaning that really, like most things in life, it really has nothing to do with us because we're too small a population. Most things in life are not about us. It's about the war between the red and the blue, the Democrats and the Republicans. It's the war between two sets of white people. And all of politics is a war between two sets of white people. And we're really the slaves that will serve whoever is in charge. And that's what they consider us to be. You understand? All right, go ahead. Next, go ahead. Let me get Sawanai. Sawanai, what'd you have?
What was the real reason why MLK was killed?
Because he was a sinner. That's why. He died for the same reason. You ever heard of drug dealers getting shot? Why did they get shot? Why did they get shot?
Because their wickedness.
Their wickedness, that's right. And when they're alive, what do people think about drug dealers? They glorify drug dealers, don't they? Until they die. Give her a hand. That's all. That's in the Apocrypha. You want to find that? That's in the Apocrypha when it speaks about how idols are made. How an idol with a parent whose child suddenly dies, a child born of vanity. And the child is glorified, and then because of the vanity, the child dies. And then they make an idol of their dead child. And now everyone worships him as a god, right? Martin Luther King died because he was wicked. It's in the Bible. It's in the scriptures. Are you familiar with the precept? It's in the Bible. He died. The thing to remember about his death is not special. Vain, glorious men who everybody think is wonderful, but who God thinks is evil, they die every day, all the time. And his death is no different. The only difference is the glorifying that they did after he was dead. But guess what? They do that with drug dealers too, don't they? If a drug dealer dies, what do? They paint his mural up on the wall. They put his face on T-shirts. They sing songs about him, point up in the sky every time it's for you. It's for you, T-Money. This rap is for you, T-Money. They glorify him because he's dead. You get the point. Go ahead.
I wanted to know why did his murderer wanted to kill him?
Okay, have you ever seen a drug dealer get killed? Right, you heard about it. Why do their murderers want to kill them?
To take their money?
Give her a hand. That's all. That's the thing. It's okay. You're black and Hispanic, so you are familiar with murders, right? They happen all the time, right? There's like a record number of murders happening outside that door right now when you cross the street, right? There's everybody is getting murdered because they're wicked and their enemy. They have a beef with them. You get my point? The man who killed Martin Luther King had a beef with him. Just like people that die every day. They have a beef. They're angry at something he said. They're angry at some concept of him or mad at him. And because God is not protecting him because of his wickedness, the person who he has beef with kills him. Now that's pretty normal, is it not? That's every day, all the time. Ask your average murderer, why'd you kill him? He stepped on my shoe. He said this to my girl. He said this on Facebook. That crazy nut that killed Martin Luther King was one of them. He's watching the damn speeches. He doesn't like what he's saying. He's mad at him. He has a beef with him. He kills him. Where's the Most High at? The Most High is not protecting him. You understand? That's it. It's not magical. Just like the 600 murders happening right now, they aren't magical. It's the wage of sin. You understand? It's what you have to pay. It's what you pay when you're a sinner. You pay with your life. And why will they kill you? 1,000 different little stupid reasons. Oh my God. I mean, you know, you made a song and you made this song, you're getting shot. Is it this song you made? This person, this is mad at you, looking at your pictures on Facebook, hates you. You're getting shot. This Earl Ray Thomas was watching Martin Luther King on TV, looking at him, and he hated him. He had a beef with him. And God allowed that bullet to hit home. You understand? All right. Question. Let me get the warrior up front. You got it about.
I had a question about the 12 tribes chart.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Is there any significance at all, if any, about the order of the 12 tribes?
Oh man, that's jogging my memory to something. It is a specific order. The 12 tribes chart, and the order we have it in, is specific. It could be Revelations, or it could be somewhere else, but it definitely has a significance, and that is the exact order. It might be the birth order combined with the Most High moving Judah, making Judah the eldest son, and Manasseh, and who was the other one? Ephraim. But it absolutely is significant. I can't recall it. I have to ask Commander General Yana, but I do remember that it is absolutely significant. Okay, you might have to look in Revelations and look at the order there. Look there first. All right, go ahead. Next, in the back, all right.
May, sir, like when it comes to like the 7 heads, right?
Mm-hmm.
May, like just so we don't like speak evil about them. Like, is it too wild to say like you know, like just so we don't have to say like, you know, they put down a score.
Right.
Can we use like a different term to say like they retired or just something like that? You know what I mean? Or is that not going west?
Okay, I would just say that they put down their sword. Right. That's not an insult to them. That's what most of the prophets of God have done. Right? He's talking about the 7 brothers that started the Israelite School of UPK and taught Commander General Yohana. Okay, those brothers, okay, well, some of them died. One of them did not put down his sword, Yaquab. He died in the truth. Was any other ones? And I think the rest of them put down their sword, except for that one. Yaquab was the only one that did not put down his sword. Now, with that, they left the truth and they put down their sword. I still would never dishonor them, because even in their time of weakness came in old age. They put down their sword in the damn 70s. They left the truth in their 60s. I don't know if some of you niggas is gonna make it to 32. So I mean, you can look bad on them if you want. I hear you. I don't expect to see you here tomorrow. So I mean, you can look down on them if you want, like you're better than them. I tell you what, they did more work than you did. That's for sure. So now I pray this. I'll give you my permission. Do the work that they did, and then in their 60s, lead the truth. Go ahead and do it. I ain't gonna be mad at you. I'll be fine. If I can get you to not go to jail tomorrow, I still will be okay. Okay, so I wouldn't. It's not an insult to them. These were old men in their 60s, and before they did it, they put Commander General Yohana in charge of the entire nation. Passover night, I think it was 1999. I was there at the Passover in Harlem. I remember going like, "Oh, I'm like, we're gonna get it on now." And then they had another meeting at the school to come to confirm it with everyone else. And that was that. So they did that in their old days. Listen, I'm not mad at them. I thank the Most High for them. Give them a hand. With everything they did. Did they lay down their swords? Yes. And in leaving the truth in their old age, they can join the club with Solomon, Moses. Give me a couple of more. Those are two pretty good ones. John the Baptist. Well, those three are pretty strong. All right. All right. So maybe they're as terrible as Moses is. All right. Or as terrible as Solomon. Maybe they're just evil as hell, like Solomon was. Solomon did a pretty good job before he fell. All right. Now he did fall in the end, and we all should learn from Solomon's fall, and we all should learn from the fall of those 7 brothers, which is why we should not call it retirement. Because we don't call, when Solomon married those white women, we don't call that retirement. We talk about Solomon, the good and the bad. Solomon did amazing work that I have never done. And Solomon left the truth for a white woman and for Pharaoh's daughter. And it's not an insult to his good work to talk about his mistake. More importantly, we can learn from his mistake. And we can learn from the mistake of those 7 heads, all right? All right. Another important thing, which is why in the UPK right now, we have 1 head. That's one way we learned. There are not 7 heads in the UPK right now. That's a lesson well learned. The UPK has 1 head. And the rest of the 6 brothers, we assist Commanding General Yohana and provide him with the best counsel that we can provide him with. In the end, every decision is his, and the UPK has 1 head. That's 1 lesson we learned. All right. Next question. Next.
Sir. Brother wanted to break down Jeremiah 15, verse 1 through 2.
You got it. Go ahead. You can give it to the brother. You can read. Go ahead.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 15, verse 1. Then said the Lord unto me, though Moses and Samuel stood before me, yet my mind could not be toward this people. Cast them out of my sight. And
Where are we at?
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 15 and verse 1.
Give me the context right here. Where is this? Jeremiah 15 and 1. Go ahead.
I believe this is before we went to Babylon, sir, when we just kept messing up with the Lord.
Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead. Read it 1 verse above it.
Come. Chapter 14, verse 22.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any among the vanities of the Gentiles that can cause rain? Or can
Are any among the what of the Gentiles?
Are there any among the vanities of the Gentiles that can cause rain?
Come here for 1 second. Daniela, come take this call, please. You got it. Let me know what happens, all right? Go ahead. What are the vanities of the Gentiles? They're gods. Send a text message. Tell them to call you now. They're gods. That's the vanities of the Gentiles. They're gods. Vanity means what? Nothing. What do the Gentiles worship? Nothing. They sacrifice to nothing. So tell me, which one of your gods can make the rain? Huh? Can Baal do it? How about that Christmas tree? Can it do something for you? All right, what about Buddha that you got sitting in the Chinese restaurant helping you make fried chickens, 4 chicken wings? Can that Buddha in Chinese restaurants, can it get up and make those fried chicken wings? Can he do a shift in there? Every Chinese restaurant has a Buddha sitting in there, one of those cats. They got a cat with 2 paws sitting in there like this, giving him candy. Can that cat make that fried rice for me? Because I got to get the hell out of here. So can you get that cat down and have him make these chicken wings? Because damn, it's been a while. So this cat does nothing but sit there and get candy put on it in front of it? Can it do anything? Can all of these gods that you worship, can they make the rain? Go ahead.
Come. Or can the heavens give showers?
Or can they make the heavens give showers? Once again, can they make the rain? Can they make a rain shower? Go ahead.
Art not thou he, O Lord our God?
You get that. Art not thou he, meaning he can make the rain. He can make it shower. He can actually do something, What in the hell can Allah do but sit there like a rock and do absolutely nothing? But our God can do something. I pray you understand that. That's the point, if that's the question. Was anything else?
This question was 15, verse 1 to 2.
15, 1 through 2. Go ahead.
Don't come. You want me to finish off verse 22, sir?
Oh, read till his question is done. Go ahead.
For thou hast made all these things. Chapter 15, verse 1. Then said the Most High unto me, though Moses and Samuel stood before me, yet my mind could not be towards this people.
1 second. Did you talk to him? Call Captain Cesario. I don't know what's happening. Go ahead.
Come. Jeremiah chapter 15, verse 1. Then said the Most High unto me, though Moses and Samuel stood before me, yet my mind could not be towards this people.
Meaning, although Moses and Samuel stood before him, meaning they served the Most High, which is stand before me means. They were up front. They represented the people. They served the Lord, but yet his mind could not be towards these people. Meaning, he had the prophets of God were righteous, but the people were wicked. Continue.
Come. Cast them out of my sight, and let them go forth. Verse 2. And that shall come to pass, if they say unto thee, whither shall we go forth? Then thou shalt tell them, thus saith the Most High, such as are for death, to death, and such as are for the sword.
Meaning this, let me give it to you briefly. Cast them out of his sight means kick them out of my land, which is what happened. Meaning we had prophets of God who were constantly warning us, telling us to change, warning us that this would happen. If we did not change, the Most High would send the oppressors like the teeth of beasts. They would destroy us. He kept warning us and warning us. Those prophets stood before God, but the people did not. And so finally the Most High got sick of it because mercy runs out. And finally he sent the oppressors, the heathens in to take us into Babylon. That's where the Babylon captivity comes from. All right? And what happened in Babylon? Death. That's what happened in Babylon. 600 murders a year. That's what happens in Babylon. Running out of coffins because you don't want a cure. That's what happens in Babylon. That's what happens. Abortions and drug addiction and fentanyl. You will not take the vaccine as a needle, but you will inject yourself with fentanyl. That's a sign. Like you like, no, and I ain't putting that needle in me. Hey, you got any fentanyl, anybody? Can you give me some? Yeah, no, I'll just inject it. Just shove it in the nail. Shove the spike right in my damn throat, in my arm, and I'll go ahead and give you some of that fentanyl you got. Hey, anybody got any heroin? What's that? No, that's a vaccine. No, thank you. Anybody got any heroin? Yeah, that's what happens in Babylon. Continue.
Come. And such as are for the famine to the famine.
There you go. What else happens in Babylon? Hunger. Ask those warriors that run the ISUPK's food program in every city, going out to tent shelters, going out to Kensington. You go to Kensington, you might as well go to Transylvania. You might as well go to Transylvania. To even go to Kensington, I think I'd need 6 vaccines to go down there. I said, how hard can you boost me before I go? I need to get boosted all the way to the goddamn sky. How many can you get in me? Can I just drink it? Can you put it in my scotch? Because before I go to Kensington, I need 17 boosts up. Because I believe if I walk on the street down there, I'm going to step on a needle and die. Please.
there. Literally, like majority of us seen so many people shoot up, probably like 100 people shoot up that day, and someone had a knife, and they was literally digging in their skin to get the draw blood so that they can shoot it in their bloodstream. In that way. A knife, sir.
Well, that's what happens in Babylon.
Right.
All right, and then you can find that same thing in San Francisco, Los Angeles. Yeesh, you can find the exact same thing. Skid Row, you can find the exact same thing. All right. Well, this is a punishment, young brothers. This is what happens when you disobey the Lord your God. This is the end result of poor decision making. So now think about that and then go out and make better decisions. Any other questions? Please, I bought.
So I had a question in Hebrews 12 and 13. Hebrews chapter 4, verses 12 and 13.
Mm-hmm.
It was about the two-edged
1 second. Make sure they heard the car story, all right? In the chat room, make sure they heard. I'm not sure if they can hear in the car. The story he just told, see if the people online heard it. Go ahead. Go ahead, Ibad.
Oh, yes. My question was in Hebrews chapter 4, verses 12 through 13. It was about the two-edged sword.
Right.
My question about the two-edged sword is, it was the metaphor was with the word of the Lord. So it cut both ways. So is that
Right. That's exactly what it means. It's a two-edged sword. Go ahead and read it, please.
This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 4 and verse 12. For the word of God is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword,
Mm-hmm.
piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit.
Right. That does not mean it cuts two ways. I've heard some brothers say that. That's a mistake. Right. That's not what that precept is talking about. They're kind of, and you want to be careful of that because you're kind of religifying the two edges when you'd have to understand what a two-edged sword is to really get it. What's the difference between a two-edged sword and a one-edged sword is that a one-edged sword, the cutting in is one edge. So as it goes in your flesh, it's cutting from this side. You get my point? Like that. But a two-edged sword is cutting from both sides. It's like it's going to make a deeper cut. Because as it goes through your arm and your hand, it's cutting from here. And then also, this is cutting. So it's like swagger down. Because it has both edges cutting you. You get my point? Most swords are one edge because two edges is dangerous because you can cut your damn self with the other edge, right? That's why one edge is not usually sharp. But if it has two edges, it's sharper. You understand? Think of the tip, right? The tip of a two-edged sword would be right here as opposed to one. Both of these right here would just go in you. As opposed to one edge going in you, both edges are going in you deeper and faster because they're cutting you from the top and the bottom. You get my point? Everybody sees this, the concept right here, right? As opposed to this going in, think of that where two edges are going in me, which means it's going in me, brother. You get my point? That's the point. The word of the Most High cuts deep. That's your breakdown. Not that it cuts in two different directions, but it cuts deep. That's the point. All right? Next.
Brother wanted to break down. So, Salaki, sir, what are the publicans in the New Testament and did Christ associate with them in Matthew 19 and 10, verse 11?
Right. Christ taught the publicans, and no one else would even go around them. Right? A publican is a tax collector. So think of, it's hard to get it today because you don't have this position blatantly. You still have this position, but it's not as blatant. It was a cop that came to collect the money that you owed the government. Right? What do you call those today? Cops. That's what a cop's job is. A cop is actually a money collector. The entire job is about money. Right? The tickets are not about making sure the roads are safe. The ticket is about the money. It's supposed to get, they have a quota every day that they have to meet. Just like a salesman has a quota. They get in that cop car and they got to go out there and make 10 stops. And those 10 stops, if it's a felony stop represents thousands of dollars. A murder, that's $200,000. That's $200,000 for a murder. The lawyer, the fines, the fees, $200,000. Sometimes $1 million. If you want to beat the case, you're gonna really need about $1 million to get up out of jail. If you don't have $1 million, go in and do your time, right? But it represents cash, everything that you see, child support, the meter maid, the ones with put the quarters in the goddamn, the meters. A cop is really collecting money all day, collecting fines all day, all night. Well, a long time ago, they called them publicans because they policed the public, right? They just like a cop is a civil officer, right? Because he polices the civilian population or the city. What does he do? Get money from everybody, as many people as he can get money from. That's what a publican is. So a modern day publican would be a cop. It would be a cop, all right? And now the Israelites, just like today, hated cops. They hated them. You understand? They couldn't stand them. Because these cops, these publicans, abused their power. They had certain power. Give me that when John the Baptist talked to him. And he said, take no more from a man that which he is owed. Cops, just like today, abused the power that they had. And so because of that, black people who at that time called themselves Jews hated cops. And they would not go around them. They considered them unfit, especially if you were somebody prominent. They considered them lowly and unfit, the same way that black people, Colin Kaepernick, black revolutionaries, black aristocrats hate cops today and have hated cops since the 60s. Since 1965, black people have hated cops. Of course, the sellouts among those people try to force you to become a cop and join the military. But black people have been hating cops since the early 60s, actively making songs about it and protesting the police. Every protest you've ever seen has been about the cops. Every last one. Every last one. Over that bridge, that Bettis Bridge over there, I think Alabama, that Martin Luther King did, that was a protest against the police. They've all been. Every protest has been a protest against the police, except for the March on Washington that was a protest about jobs. But the rest of them are about police brutality. Because the publicans were brutal and were unfair and were corrupt. I'll prove it to you here. You have it? Tell them where it is.
Luke 3:13, sir.
Did they hear in the car earlier?
Have to.
Okay, we got to do something about the sound. We might need a microphone in here. Everyone speak up and consider a microphone and what that would be. All right? Go ahead.
Luke chapter 3 and verse 13. And he said unto them, exact no more than that which is appointed you.
One verse above it.
The book of Luke chapter 3 and verse 12. Then came also publicans.
Then came who?
Also publicans.
Then came who?
Also publicans.
Then came also publicans. Go ahead.
To be baptized, and said unto him.
So these publicans came to be baptized by John the Baptist. Continue.
Master, what shall we do? And he said unto them, exact no more than that which is appointed you.
So they came to John the Baptist like, well, listen, we're publicans. What shall we do? Meaning we want to change. We want to repent, but we're cops. We're publicans. What should we do? And this is what he said. Go ahead.
Verse 14. And the soldiers likewise
he said, do what?
Exact no more than that which is appointed you.
Meaning, don't take any money from someone that you aren't supposed to take, because that's what they were doing. They weren't just fining the people and taking the tax money for Caesar. They would take the tax money and double and put the rest in their pocket. They would steal. They would steal from the people. They would take bribes and they would rob the people. And so if you're going to claim to want to repent and change, this is the first thing. Don't take money that you're not supposed to take from people. Stop being so corrupt. Stop being a damn thief. Hold your point 1 second. Continue.
And the soldiers likewise demanded of him.
And then who else came there? Soldiers. Roman soldiers, they were there as well. And likewise, they said what?
Demanded of him, saying, and what shall we do?
And they said, well, what are we going to do? We're not just civil authorities. We're soldiers under Caesar in the army that kills people. What are we supposed to do? Go ahead.
And he said unto him, and he said unto them, do violence to no man, neither accuse any falsely.
That's what he said. You're in the army? No problem. Do violence to no man. None. What is violence? No, that's not what violence is. In a court of law or in America. That's not what violence is. To unlawfully harm someone or attempt to harm someone. That's violence, right? Violence is not self-defense, which is the point. Self-defense is not violence in any way. Actual non-violence would mean that you never harm anyone without it being in defense of yourself or others. Violence is when you harm someone and you are not doing it in defense of yourself or others. You can just look this up or ask Alexa. Everybody knows already. Everybody gets it, right? So he's telling them, if you're in the military, don't go out and murder people. Don't go do that. And do what else? Read the next part.
Neither accuse any falsely.
And don't accuse anyone falsely. Don't lie and set people up, which is exactly what cops do every day in court. They go into that court and they falsely accuse people. They say that the brother did something that he did not. They say he had drugs on him when he did not have drugs in his pocket. Or they plant drugs in his pocket. In essence, he's saying, if you're going to be a cop or a soldier, stop being a criminal as well. That's the point. All right, next question.
I'm looking right now, sir. Actually, no questions.
Any questions in the room? Stand by. Is this some precept I had to bring out today? I'll give you one more second. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Bear with me. Okay, I think this is the one I had. It was some other question the brother asked me. Oh, I think this was it. Go to 1 Corinthians 16 and 13.
Come. It's the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 16, verse 13. Watch ye, stand fast in the faith. Quit you like men. Be strong.
Someone look up quit. You need to read. This is the question the brother asked with this scripture. The word quit, like many words that you might not understand today because they don't mean the same thing today that they meant, 1,000 years ago. The word quit means to behave like, or to behave in a way that is like this thing. All right. Quit you like men means to behave like a man. All right. Everybody gets that? That's it. That's what you need if you're breaking it down in the street. You can look it up to confirm. But of course, what I just said is absolutely true. Anything else up?
Come.
Go ahead.
Be strong.
No, I mean, any questions? I think that's it. Everybody gets that. All you need is to quit. I think the rest you can understand. But to quit yourselves like men means to behave yourself like men. All right? Questions? The car? I'm sorry.
Sir.
Daniela?
About the marriage, right?
About who?
About marriage, right?
Marriage? Go ahead.
So a woman, she can't divorce, she can't leave her husband
Right.
under no circumstances, meaning the only way that she can do it is death.
Right.
Okay, that was the question. Like, so, because somebody had asked, what if a woman found out that her husband was a homosexual?
Right.
Would she be able to leave?
Well, the Christians need to know that because that's happening all the time.
Right.
Okay, if you find out that your husband is a homosexual, you cannot go have sex with a new man, which is what divorce is, right? Divorce is not sleeping on the couch. Divorce is not, I'm not talking to you. Divorce is also not, we live in separate places. That's not divorce, right? Divorce is she has sex with someone else. And that is the giant misconception when it comes to women in the world. They believe that there must be a scenario where they can go what? Have sex with another man, which is what we're talking about. Okay, and here's the problem, baby girl. The new man, he's gay too. And so in essence, you're gonna have a string of homosexual men. Sooner or later, the answer cannot be have sex with someone new. That can't be the answer because that's how we got in this mess. Sooner or later, you're gonna have to close your legs. The key to birth control is a dime. That's it, one dime. Take that dime and put it between your knees and leave it there. Now, if you can do that, you can control yourself and you can make better decisions. But the answer to a bad husband is not to go get another bad husband. I can't do more than that for you, all right? So if you found out your husband is gay, stop having sex with him, right? You're allowed to protect yourself, right? Even a rose has thorns. Everything is allowed to survive. So if your husband is gay, sex with him could kill you. The act of sex could mean you contract HIV, AIDS, and you die without those, drugs that they have right now that can make it a chronic disorder. You better take those drugs for the rest of your life, or you're going to die. And if not AIDS, my God, a lot of other things, but mainly AIDS, if he's a homosexual. So your husband is gay. I'm not going to run out and find a new gay man to have sex with, but what I will do is I'll stop having sex with him because I don't want to die. Now, what does that mean? You're having sex with no one. You're done. Go into that room, learn to crochet. Go back to school. Do something with your life because sex is out of your life until he dies. Here's the good news. He's gay. He'll be dead soon any day. All right? So there's no reason to rush. All right? Why rush? In a minute, he'll die of AIDS, and you'll get to go to the choir and find you a new gay man to do the same thing with. All right? I got to get the hell out of here. With that, pass the class over to Priest Officer Dunyard. Let's clap it up. Clap it up for Calabas. Back on the scene. Get it on. Put your hand.
ISUPK security announcement. We in the ISUPK started out at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Under Commandant General Yohana. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves with the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers chapter 18, verse 21. Malachi chapter 3, verse 8 through 10.
means tenth in Hebrew. My Asherah, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord give you. Give to the Treasury Department, priest fund, free will offer for priests, not mandatory, whatever amount you would like, up and come a holy convocation, which is Purim. That would be February 14th. If any brother wants to be a trooper in the school, start to wear all black. Black boot, shirt, pants, headband, or scarf. And with that, imagine, which means stand. Men of Israel, we're going to give a courtesy salute. Men of Israel, Madam Shabbat, imagine, Barak, Yahweh, Shem, Yahweh, Yajamatah, Sar, which means turn to face the sisters. Sisters, imagine, which means stand. Men of Israel, we're going to give the sisters one courtesy salute. Men of Israel, Madam Shabbat, imagine, Barak, Yahweh, Shem, Yahweh, Yajamatah, class dismissed.